The meeting between the IOC chief, Thomas Bach, and Peng Shuai, the readout of it was quite strange. It read like a diplomatic meeting of two foreign ministers. The IOC said things like Ms Peng discussed the Winter Games, they discussed her not being able to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics last year, and the IOC invited her to attend future events in Europe. Ms Peng agreed that she will attend and go to Europe once the pandemic is over. It was that sort of stuff. We are left questioning whether or not Thomas Bach and another female official from the IOC talked about the main topic, because in the statement it said other details of the meeting will be left to Ms Peng's discretion as to whether she discloses them. Now, why were they meeting in the first place? Because there was so much concern from abroad over the past few months after Peng Shuai in November last year publicly accused a very senior retired Chinese politician of coercing her to have sex during a long on-again, off-again romance. And there's been a lot of concern in recent times that when Peng Shuai has emerged publicly, it's always been in these really odd media appearances where she's always in the presence of Chinese Olympic Committee officials. You know, these are government officials. So once again, there was a Chinese Olympic official present with her when she accepted a French media interview on the same day. The details of that, Bev, were published today, and for 1 hour she apparently answered questions saying that the whole thing was a huge misunderstanding, that she never said she was sexually assaulted, and that she appreciated people abroad being so concerned about her, but she was bemused as to what they were concerned about. She also said that she herself deleted that original allegation that she posted on social media. So we're left, I suppose, Bev, with, once again, questions about whether or not she really is talking freely and whether or not she's being controlled.
Yeah, quite worrying in many, many ways. And censors, Bill, have had to step in after trolls attacked an American-born skater. Now, she performed fairly poorly. She's skating for China now, and she was not spared the criticism.
That's right, Bev. Zhu Yi was one of the big stars in the figure skating for Team China going into this year's Winter Olympics, partly because she's a naturalised Chinese citizen. She was born in the US, she grew up in the US, and it's pretty significant that she's decided to skate for Team China. She had an absolute shocker in the figure skating team event, and she actually dragged China's position down from 3rd to 5th. So online there was a lot of angry comments over the weekend, hashtags saying that Zhu Yi has fallen, people questioning why she should even be allowed to compete for the Chinese team when she doesn't have a fluent command of Mandarin. But the interesting thing, Bev, is that the Chinese government, through its censors, have stepped in and they've deleted some of these hashtags, they've cooled down and censored the discussion online. And that's pretty significant because there's also another prominent American skier who now skis for China called Eileen Gu. She competed today. She's through to the final tomorrow. She's a much bigger star. I don't know, but perhaps the Chinese government is quite proud of the fact that a couple of high-profile Americans decided to choose China over the US, and they're a little bit sensitive if Chinese internet users give those athletes a hard time if they perform poorly.
Yeah, interesting. Now, talking of censoring, we've seen some fairly heavy-handedness by Chinese security with reporters. Now, they're there for the Games. They're obviously being charged with making sure nothing goes to air that authorities wouldn't be happy with, but it's not a good look for them.
No, there was a Dutch television reporter a couple of days ago who was reporting on the opening ceremony, and my understanding is he's not inside the bubble. I actually recognise him. He's a correspondent based in Beijing, so it appears he was outside the bubble. He was standing like I'm doing right now next to a public street, not a sensitive area at all, and it just so happened when he went live, a group of security guards came along and literally forced him off air. And then something kind of similar happened to a Hong Kong reporter who works for an American outlet, also not in the bubble. He's in Beijing, the city itself. He said that he tried to ask people at Wangfujing, this really popular commercial area of Beijing, he tried to do vox pops. He wanted to ask them, what do you think of the Olympic Games? And security guards came up to him just today and told him you're not allowed to ask those questions. So, Bev, once again, not a great look for the way the Chinese government is managing the media. But the IOC has been asked questions about this, and IOC officials have talked it down. They say they've been given assurances that inside the bubble, reporters will be able to freely report on the Olympic Games.
Yeah. Bill, I think the IOC has so much to answer for beyond this Games, but interesting to watch it playing out. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Beth.